Hello YouTube, this is Retta. I know I made a post on my page about I was going to show some decks that I've been using in the last year or so, or maybe even a little longer than a year, around this time last month. I might have mentioned them before, I don't know, but these are decks that have meant something and I enjoyed working with them. They could be new decks or just new to me, you know, so take it like that. It could be new decks or new to me, which is, I could have had them for years and I just now started working with them. These are decks this year that have really stood out in my mind. I don't know how long this is going to take. If I have to do it in 2 parts, I will. But this is like my end of the year kind of like, these decks really stood out, and I'll tell you why, and my feelings and so forth. And there's another thing I wanted to talk about, everybody. I know a few months ago I was toying around and of doing a deck giveaway, and it seemed I went through all my decks. It took me hours. I found like 7 decks that I wanted to do a giveaway with, and I videotaped it and I had them all out, and I videotaped it, and it just like disappeared. And then in the meantime, I had put all these decks away. And I was so overwhelmed with decks everywhere, so I had to put them away, and I lost the video. I'm like, what the heck? And then I've been getting a message from Spirit, and this is what it's saying, that if you're going to give away a deck freely and with love, it has to be a deck that means something that is truly special to you, something that you connect with, not a deck that didn't move you or anything. Give a deck that moves you, that connects you. So I'm gonna do, and that's why the video disappeared somehow. That's why there was an overwhelming burden with all the decks around, and I had to hurry up and put them away because it was just so many decks. I felt overwhelmed. It's because Spirit was saying, nope, rearrange, come back. So I do have 2 decks in mind that are very dear to me, and then I'm going to add a few more. So look for that in the upcoming couple of months, by Christmas and so, or New Year's, of a deck. And I don't care. Hopefully this deck, whatever decks that really move me, hopefully they're still in print. But whatever, and they could be, you know, this is like decks, and I'm going to go through with them and figure out which ones that I want to share with you guys for a giveaway. Okay, so that's why if you didn't see the thing, it's because a lot of my subscribers are people that are from my Retta's Reading Room group and so forth, and we have like developed friendships and stuff like that. So this is me giving back, even though I feel my readings and stuff, but I also to say, hey, I appreciate you guys coming with me to Instagram and to Facebook and communicating and sharing and making my Retta's Reading group a really lovely group and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So look out for that. Okay, now back on from my rambling. So this year, I really worked with a lot. I had these rooms for years. I never really used them too much. A friend of mine, a subscriber that I had for my radio show, made them for me in Ireland. And they're Ireland wood, and she made them for me. And she made them for me, so they're dear to my heart. And I've really been incorporating these in my readings, and I love them. I also have been using a lot of charms, and a lot of these charms I got from Carrie Paris, and I love Carrie Paris. But there's like a oracle, Lenormand deck in here. There's a tarot deck, and there's like an oracle deck, and then there's also charms that I found that mean something to me that I use too. So I've really been loving working with these charms. You can use them by yourself or to enhance a reading for clarification. So I think Carrie still has some. So you can go to carrieparis.com, I believe, And or you can make your own. You know, you can go to the craft stores and different things and find little trinkets that mean something to you, and you make your own little charm thing. But I love them. So those, they stay on my table. They're always in here. I love working with them. I'm making a mess. Okay, next on my list, I've really enjoyed working with the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. This has been out for a little while. I think it's been out for almost a year. I've really enjoyed, I think it reads very straightforward. The images are beautiful. If you want diversity, this deck has it. This deck has animals. This deck has, you know, different races, different colors. It's very ethnic. It also has different sexualities. So it has a little bit of everything in there. It has, like, you know, so I really do enjoy this deck. So look at, that's the Hangman. This is the Nine of Wands. So just some of them. I love this deck and the imagery. The Nine of Swords. So it's a very, like, emotional deck. It brings out emotions, and it really brings out the feelings of the people that you're doing the reading on. And it goes deep, you know, it goes deep. So, and it really evokes some feelings. So I really enjoy this reading. Really, really do. I mean, this deck. So this is the Modern Spellcasters deck. I don't know where the box is, but so that's what I've enjoyed working with. I've also enjoyed, here's something newer that I've enjoyed, is this. I haven't been using it in the last few weeks. Because the creator, Patrick, he is coming out with 13 more cards, which I had ordered for this deck, and now it feels incomplete. Where it felt complete before, but now that it has a big, you know, question mark of more cards, I need the more cards because it feels like it's missing something. So I can't use it until I get those cards. And thank God I got an email that, but I really do enjoy this little, this reads very well, especially for clarifications. You know, instead of bringing out your little charms and stuff, this little deck helps. You can even do a reading with it. It's very intuitive. I find it's very intuitive, but he does come with the little thing. Sometimes I have to look to check out his little meanings, but I really enjoy. So this is the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. And it's really tiny, but I have enjoyed it since the first time I opened it up. It's like held a special place, and I enjoy, which is surprisingly, because I don't have many oracle decks that I just love like that, but this is one. So we have that. This too. This is the Eurosoma Tarot. And I don't use this as a tarot deck. It has the colored perfume bottles on the back. I really do like this deck, but I don't use this deck as a tarot deck for me. For me, this deck is very spiritual, and it's more of a spiritual connection. I use this deck as an oracle, because it really gets a person, the core of who they are, their feelings, their emotions. This deck really does. So I kind of use this deck to kind of really connect to someone. So I use this more as an oracle for me than a tarot deck. But it is a full tarot deck. I think it's 2 tarot decks, and like it has angels in it. I still have to use the book sometimes. You know me. I can't read a book, so I try to read some of the book, and it's too informative. And I think if it was up to me to have to read a book before I use a deck, it would be forever. That's why a majority of a lot of the decks, I have lots and lots of decks, is because I held off, you know, using them because I'm like, oh, I got to read the book. And then I realized the reason why I'm not using or utilizing those decks is because I'm not reading the book. It's just like if I waited to read every book for every deck I use, sometimes I take out the book for some clarification if something stumps me or whatever. But this deck, I find that I don't need the book so much for the cards. Only thing I do need the book for is because she goes into like the angels. And I don't have like I don't know, I'm not an angel reader, so I don't know all the angels. I know like the basics like Michael and Gabriel and stuff like that, but I don't know like now I'm looking for one. I can't find it. One time when I was like Zachariah, what's this, Zachariah or Zachariel? Zachariel? I think that's what it is. So I still have to look up for those. But this deck, it is like a really spiritual, profound deck. And I use it for Oracle. And it really tunes into a person. I don't know why I can't use it for... I can't use it as a tarot deck because you ever hear sometimes too much of a good thing is just too much. That's what it is. It's just... You know, it's too emotional, it's too spiritual for me. So I do like take out a card or 3 cards and it kind of really encompasses that person, the situation. So I really do love this deck. And you guys have seen me use this deck. I'm going in no particular order at all. So... I'm going in no particular order or just tarot or anything. This has been my favorite Lenormand. It's from 7 Star. I just started using this like within the year. And this has become my favorite Lenormand deck ever. I have lots of them. And some of them are beautiful. But I find that I really enjoy this plain like black and white. It's kind of I enjoy this to use as a Lenormand. This is the Silhouette Lenormand deck by 7 Star. You can find her on Etsy, and I really do love that deck. Also, I really have been enjoying this deck. This is the Gypsy Fortune cards. I've been enjoying these. I haven't used them in a while, but I've been enjoying these cards. I'm actually thinking about, as most people know, that I'm doing my own. I came up with a concept the whole couple of weeks that you guys didn't see me on, because I'm working on my own tarot deck for myself. And I came up with the concept and thought process, and I'm going to start, you know, drawing and doing the images. But I'm also wanting to make my own one of these because I like this, but I don't like all these words and stuff for me because I speak, you know, it's the different languages. So I want to make a more personal one of these just for myself. So I'll be working on that too for me. So I really enjoy this deck. And I think they're like $7. Something just bit me when I was looking through. I don't know what the heck that was. When I was looking through, let's see. This deck has really funny. Oh, this is the book. You can get the book for this deck that I just talked about. This is the book for it. So I do have it. I try to read it, but it's like way too informative for me. I seem to think sometimes when it's way too informative, it's just sometimes it's too much. I'll read. Surprisingly enough, and I didn't read this book either, but I have it. The Tarot in Black and White. This has become my really favorite deck to use. And I didn't use this deck for a long time. She's in Australia, I believe. I didn't use this deck for a long time because I just didn't understand all these symbols and they kind of scared me. And I was like, what the heck? What kind of, you know, tarot deck is this? But I find this tarot deck works awesome for me, for my intuition. You know, just the simplicity of it. And I wish the cardstock was better. That's my only complaint of this deck is the cardstock. But because I wouldn't want nothing to happen to this deck, and I mean, I'm even getting to the point where I might even laminate it, which I don't like lamination, but I just love this deck so much. So it's really, you probably see me work with this deck, and it reads well, and it really brings out your intuition, and you know, so I have to have this up sometimes so I can figure out, you know, sometimes the suit. So it's just very simple. This has been a standout. I think this is the biggest surprise for me, and it's become my most loved deck so far this year. I also, what the heck, I really enjoy using this deck. This is the Magi method, and the guy has a tarot channel. I enjoy this deck, and if you ever read if you guys are tarot readers or so, you guys will realize no matter, I just dusted this table off last night, and it's full of dust again. It's something about like connecting with spirits and guides sometimes, that dust just comes everywhere, so you're constantly cleaning. But this deck, he has a book to go with it, and I will admit I haven't read it, so I just read it the way I like interpret it. And I really do enjoy it. I did change the back of the cards because I didn't like the wording on the back. But I really do enjoy it. So bravo, Joseph, Bad Guy. I really do like the deck. And I like how he reads it. So I really do like this deck. Okay, so that's that. Surprisingly, I have only used this deck like 10 times. And you ever find a deck that when you just open it, that you just like? This deck is that. It's very clear, concise. It really enhances my intuition. I really do enjoy this deck. This, the Star Tarot. It comes with a book, of course. You guys know me. I didn't read it. It was too informative. But, you know, if you're a person that likes to be informed, she goes into detail. Everything was put on these cards for a reason. I think I love the deck because I told you when I first began tarot, I learned from the Toff system. And the Toff system is a little different, a lot different. It's more, you know, goes by symbols and stuff like that than the Rider-Waite. Well, they're both got symbols, but the Toff deck is more like in-your-face type of strong symbols, if I'm saying that. Where the other way is more subtle. So this deck reminds me of the Toff system. And it's beautiful, but it reminds me of a Toff system where I find the Toff deck very masculine. Very masculine, straightforward, very blunt. This one is blunt too, but she has a gentler hand. And I find that this would be the wife to the Toff. And it is very strange because I didn't really want this deck. And even this card looks like the Toff deck. I didn't want this deck. I seen it and I overlooked it, you know, and then my friend had it. Thank you, Lauren, if she's on. She had it on her page and she cut it. And I don't even feel the need to have to cut this. Usually I do. But she had hers cut. And the images just stood out. I'm like, what the heck deck is that? And she's like, the Star Tarot. And I'm like, what? I said, I overlooked that deck like 5 times. I wanted no parts of it. And just her cutting it, you know, made me, the images really connect with me. And I've used this, and ever since I opened it, there was like, there was no need, no explanations, no nothing. It just felt like we were always friends, and it just wanted to be used. and it's the Thoth, and it connects me even to my, it just connects me a lot spiritually. I really do enjoy this deck. I think this deck will be a deck that I might even have to get another deck of this, because I think this will always be in my collection, and I think this will be like a one I go to all the time. So this is the Star Tarot, and this is your path to self-discovery through the cosmic system by Kathleen McCullen. Okay, so this is part 1. I'm going to end this, and then we're going to go to part 2. Okay.